because right now we can't get to certain areas?
That is correct.
Were all these fires started overnight? I mean, that's quite a few fires that start overnight.
Absolutely. All of these fires started sometime from 10 o'clock last evening on into the early hours this morning, and we continue to get new starts as the day warms up. Again, we're under critical fire weather conditions. That's why the National Weather Service put red flag warnings up.
And more news now will continue on Fox 10 Phoenix on our YouTube page or on Fox 10 Phoenix Facebook Live. You can continue to watch this live press conference out of California. Our best wishes are with everyone there involved. Thank you for watching News Now.
Is just extreme of new starts, and that's literally what happened last night and this morning. The planets literally aligned to have these explosive conditions. The planets literally aligned to have these explosive conditions. So we have been throughout the summer seeing just an accelerated number of fires. Literally as we speak this week, we are about 1,500 fires to date, year to date, above where we were last year. So our initial attack, our number of new fires we've been getting every week, has been increasing every week throughout the year. The case of last night's very challenging when you have these kinds of weather conditions working against the firefighters, and so you start getting ignitions, multiple fires starting at the same time. You know, we've got to try to react and move resources. It's not uncommon to have multiple fires burning, but I can certainly tell you it's becoming more the norm now to have multiple large damaging fires like we're seeing today.
Will you call just the past 10 or 12 hours exceptional though, just given the magnitude of the weather?
I think what we're going to find when we talk to seasoned fire professionals here in the next several days is they're going to talk about conditions that they have not seen before. And we were saying that 2 years ago in 2015 when the Valley and the Butte fires burned in these same areas, seeing conditions we hadn't seen. Well, I think we've raised the bar again in California in just terms of the conditions that we're facing and the destruction and devastation.
Who and why was the National Guard called out, and what conditions required them to be called out?
Dave, you want to say anything else for you?
Thanks, Ken. I would just add that the California National Guard is fully integrated into both the fire and law enforcement mutual aid systems. So when either of those systems become tapped or they need resources that are unique to the military that we can provide to assist law enforcement agencies or the allied fire services, we're ready to deploy.
So you were called right away? I mean, do you know what time you were called?
Our initial calls came early this morning, and for both the medical evacuation helicopters, the firefighting helicopters, and then Director Ghilarducci, in communication with law enforcement leaders in the area, made the decision about 8 o'clock this morning to deploy the military police personnel.
Do you know anything about their rescue at night with the helicopter?
I'd have to defer to CAL FIRE on that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with any of the specific operations that occurred relative to rescues last night, but we can certainly look at it for you.
I think we can do more one-on-one interviews later if you want to schedule, but for now we're going to call a close for today's press conference.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
We've been back here time and time again in the last 4 to 5 years. These are the conditions we continue to talk about that California is experiencing. Even when folks, the public may be lulled into thinking the fall months are here and the temperatures are going down, this is traditionally California's worst time for fires. California's most damaging fires have occurred in the months of October, and we're seeing that again this morning, today. But I can certainly tell you it's becoming more the norm now to have multiple large damaging fires like we're seeing today. I think what we're going to find when we talk to seasoned fire professionals here in the next several days is they're going to talk about conditions that they have not seen before. And we were saying that 2 years ago.
Gentlemen, you've seen a lot of fires in your time. Chief, have you ever seen a fire like this?
Nothing like this. I've been to a lot of fires both in the city and outside of the city, and nothing compares to what we saw that night.
There were reported, hurricane force winds fire tornadoes in the Coffee Park area. There were things that really shocked us the next morning looking at that, where there was a vehicle upside down, 100 feet into Coffee Park.
No, we moved, and you got to see this to believe this. I'm going to have Martin pan to the left. You're looking at a neighborhood that goes block after block after block that is completely and totally and overwhelmingly destroyed. And just having a god-awful time. Now, if you come back around this way, Martin, what I want to do is kind of give people again the scape here. Look at the scope of this thing. This is so hard to believe because this was 24 hours ago. This was a neighborhood. There are garbage cans out in the street waiting for pickup. There are cars that were here that people simply didn't have enough people to drive away. And you're looking at a scene that is probably reminiscent of hell.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this. Right behind me, this was part of a trailer park here, and you can see just home after home after home that is gone. There's nothing left. Fires still burning. Taking pictures. It's really smoky. It's hard to breathe out here. There's Cal Fire. I want to show you some other stuff around here too. The road 101 is closed, so getting to this point was a little bit difficult, but we did the devastation, and we've only been here maybe 10 minutes, and just to look at all this and see hardly anything left of this business here. There are a couple safes you can see in this business that have survived, fireproof safes there, but that's really all remains, and it's hot out here. You can feel the flames still, and even in the back it was raging a little more earlier. So,
Brooks, can I ask you? It looks. I don't see fire crews in these live pictures. It looks like they've moved on to some places they can save.
When you look at this, what do you think?
I mean, it's just devastating. This is something you might expect out of Southern California, but I mean, we're in a neighborhood right now. I don't even know how.
And this is your neighborhood?
I mean, I'm from pretty close to here, just a few miles away, so it's really devastating. I mean...
Have you ever seen anything like this? Because just seeing things still burning leveled like this, what goes through your head? Yesterday, when you were thinking about that wind and everything, did it ever cross your mind that, oh boy, there could be some danger here?
No, not at all. And I mean, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I have a very close friend that I live with who is a firefighter, and he thinks that somebody started these fires on purpose. He said, fires like this in all these multiple different locations.
Good evening, Brett Govea, Incident Commander from CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 1. Current situation, as Chief Goffman pointed out, is 25 to 30,000 acres, 0% contained. The fire has done a good amount of magnitude of damage. We've had a great cooperative effort throughout the night from local fire agencies in Sonoma County as well as local law enforcement agencies. Also, continuing effort from the Master Mutual Aid System from local, state, and federal fire departments up and down the state of California. The fire has done a good amount of magnitude of damage. Current situation, as Chief Goffman pointed out, is 25 to 30,000 acres, 0% contained. The fire has done a good amount of magnitude of damage. 25 to 30,000 acres, 0% contained. 25 to 30,000 acres, 0% contained.
House, and he and neighbors doused it with bottled water. They all got around, they raided their garages and refrigerators and were pouring bottled water on it, and it worked. It saved the home. He said that had he gone there 2 or 3 minutes later, it would have been too late to do that. We've seen the neighbors and the community sort of rise up as we've seen in other.
As I sort of look over your shoulder, it appears as though there is at least one home that is still standing. Can you bring our viewers and myself up to date as we just now are joining you? Rob, as I sort of look over your shoulder, it appears as though there is at least one home that is still standing. Can you bring our viewers and myself up to date as we just now are joining you? Is the entire area destroyed, or is that right? Is that in fact a home behind you? I can see a vehicle parked outside of it. Is that in fact a home that's still standing? Oh no, I see the flames now.
No. What you're looking at is part of the hotel. This is part of the Hilton Hotel. Where was?
There's something else going on here.
With
alleged to. Alleged to.
Alleged to, right.
Yeah.
Now, we realize that for decades now, these governments have been alleged to have experimented with weather control, but nothing conclusive. This time we're bringing in the laws of physics rather than simply waving our hands and uttering mumbo-jumbo. We're actually using trillion-watt lasers now.
Laser has a power of 1 watt, and if you don't want to use your energy to strike your match, you can just hold it in the beam of light. A 1 watt laser can light a match. Imagine then the power of a 500 trillion watt laser. That's exactly what they've built here at the National Ignition Facility in California, where engineers and...
How about metal tires? We saw the rims, and there's no rubber at all on any of the tires. The rubbers are completely gone. Put a rubber tire in a furnace, even a hot one, it won't melt. The tires are vulcanized, which means they're through a process that combines the rubber molecules with carbon and other elements to prevent them from oxidizing or burning. It's why hot rodders can burn rubber without setting anything on fire. And the fires are said to merge. They're bringing people down, firemen from Idaho, Washington, Oregon. They're planning it to merge and continue on. This is a picture from down the road. There's a Hilton Hotel, or it was the Hilton Hotel, and the Fountain Grove Inn right below it, which was. But look at the steel. Look at the steel melted and twisted, folks. That means the temperatures was above 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit.
This was a USA something wildfire. So this is a new trend we're seeing, where the entire building just disappears. There's absolutely nothing left, and that's what we're seeing again here. And this is becoming a growing trend, guys. There's no explanation for it. I want to show you a couple of things here that should really be visible to the people with eyes to see. Here's the here's this neighborhood before. And I want you to look, you guys. There's absolutely nothing left. You don't see any part of any of the structures anywhere. This isn't possible. There's something else going on here.
Pine Country Hotel is actually engulfed in flames right now. You can see the fence is on fire, and behind that, what we think used to be the restaurant here at the Hilton. What's really interesting is, as we've been standing here, we can not only feel the heat from these flames, we're having the debris and the ash come as this fire continues to burn. And the eeriest part about this is there is not a firefighter in sight. We have not heard a siren. We have not seen a fire truck. Nothing. And that is exactly like what we've been talking about all morning. These firefighters.
That is where we got the first reports of that fire. This is around 10 o'clock last night. And then, of course, throughout the night, that fire continued to spread. Hospitals have been evacuated, and we saw there at Kaiser Medical Center as people, those patients, being taken out in the bed.
It's another explosion.
And they tried to get people to safety.
Exactly.
Look at that smoke. A lot of people this morning.
It has been just heartbreaking to watch. Tom Jensen has been there at the heart of it all at the Kaiser Hospital in Santa Rosa with the very latest, where they've been taking busloads of people out of the hospital to trying to get them to kind of a makeshift hospital, you were telling us, Tom.
Yeah, they're going to Kaiser San Rafael. I got to talk about this right now, though. This is right behind the hospital, you guys. This is a mobile home park completely flattened by fire. We've got firefighters in here trying to save what they can. But if we move over to the left here, Henry, you can see this is what they're battling. These mobile homes went up. We do know that some of the explosions were coming from here, possibly propane tanks. Those explosions we heard earlier. This entire mobile home park, dozens and dozens of people's homes are just flattened. And firefighters are actually in the middle of this. We've been watching them doing what they can, but this is just looks like a fruitless situation, something that would be impossible to win here. We can see, as we look out from the parking structure, more flames up in the hills, and hearing sirens not in one direction, but in all directions. Fire trucks and police cars going to the as they're kicking up and trying to get people evacuated. And we are, from this vantage point, seeing several different spot fires, and you can see the smoke blowing through the air. It's not hard or difficult to figure out why these spot fires are kicking up. You can see glowing embers in this heavy smoke just blowing straight to the south now and causing more fires south of us. I'm looking now, as I look to the south, I'm seeing more fires out there and more heavy smoke. It looks like even possibly a sizable fire out on the other side of the hospital that we were talking about before. You can see the hospital now in the foreground. All of the patients now evacuated from Kaiser Hospital here. More than
fire burning the hospital itself. How close is it?
We're on top of the parking structure. The fire's right below us, and we've got fire burning not only here on the south and the east, the north and the east side of the hospital, but also on the south and east side of the hospital, a big fire kicking up. And in fact, that hospital official we talked to earlier, she did tell us that they are concerned about the hospital.
Oh my goodness. Well, it is frightening. To keep safe yourself. I know you've been giving us the latest updates there. Thank you very much.
Transformer explosion, structure fire, multiple callers, 451 Mark West Station Road, 451 Mark West Station Road, Markfield, PA Drive, box 2646, Bravo 1, Control 2, 2126. Condition tree down, possible transformer explosion, structure fire, 51 Mark West Station Road, Markfield, PA Drive, box 2646, Bravo 1, Control 25 Markwest Station Road, power line. Copy, power line down. 7535 responding, acknowledging wires down. Are they unit on control 2? 1470 responding, acknowledge wires down. 1470 responding.
This fire started, we're learning why it was so violent and vicious, devouring practically everything in its path.
A transformer blew. PG&E transformers? You think there's a structure fire down at the end of the street? Yeah, people are running down that way, so I don't know what happened. So are you sure there's a structure fire? Well, there's sparks, and it was a big PG&E pole, and everybody went running down to the end of the street. Okay, at the end of the street?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people out. I don't know what they're doing now, they're crazy.
Alright, we're on our way. Okay, thank you. Fireman will dispatch you on. Tell me exactly what happened.
There's a fire outside our house.
What kind of fire?
And there's it's really, I don't know, we're in a hill with a lot of trees, and it's getting close to our house.
How close to your house?
Trees.
Okay.
The trees are on fire.
Okay. I need you to, is there a way for you to evacuate your house?
Yes, we're actually,
okay.
Yes, we're leaving.
Okay, getting closer to the house. How large is the fire? Can you tell me?
Yeah. I mean, calm down.
Don't worry about any belongings. Don't worry about any.
So the fire stopped on 101 near Shiloh. We have a deputy on scene here. He's advising that the fire is heading west and it's spreading quickly.
Need immediate help. Yeah, it's 9th Canyon Road.
Okay.
9th Canyon Road is where we need immediate help.
Okay. So the fire started on Beltane and has worked its way.
I can't see this. I can't see. It's very near. I need immediate help. Is it
help on the way?
Do you have help on the way? I mean, this is a big fire, and the wind is crazy up here.
And I need some assistance with my father. He's on it.
Okay, we're telling.
And I need assistance with my father.
Okay, we're telling that you need assistance. You can be there soon. Bye-bye.
Them to you. Okay, I got the address, so I don't know how we're going to get to them through fire unless there's fire units to help us make our way to them. All right, I will let somebody know. Okay, ma'am?
Yes, we are trapped and we are running.
I know, I understand that. I'm trying to find you some help, okay? Just one moment, I need to get your help.
Fire medical dispatch.
County with a transfer from a call from Penwood.
Thank you. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, this is the emergency. All right, we have lots of fire all over the county. I need to go.
And no one's going to evacuate or tell us?
County with a transfer, flames seen at Adobe Canyon Road.
Yes, what experience for my family.
I know, I totally get it. Trying to do your best, trying to get them evacuated if you can.
Okay, what can we do? There's a house of fires with the
just hold, okay? They have lots of stuff going on. Hold on. Fire medical dispatch. County with a transfer, flames seen at Adobe Canyon Road.
Yes, what is everybody? It's right in our backyard and there's no fucking fire engines here.
Ma'am, let me see where this is.
Okay, what is in Kenwood? Where the hell are they?
It's for the transfer on Mountain Home Ranch Road.
Thank you. What's the address of the emergency? Hello?
Hi, we need fire engines out here immediately. I mean, we needed them out here an hour ago.
Okay, ma'am.
People are going in on the road. They're probably not going to make it out unless somebody gets out here soon.
Where's the fire?
We don't even have a sheriff out here. It's on Mountain Home Ranch Road.
Do you see
where
fire?
the Viacom is. Yes. I had to drive out because I would have died if I stayed.
Ma'am, where's the fire? What is the cross street?
Not at the, it's down the road.
Okay, that's where the fire is?
Yes.
Okay, and what's on fire?
The land, houses.
Okay.
I just heard an explosion, so that's not good.
Okay, we're gonna come out there. Okay, so explosion.
We need people immediately.
Ma'am, I thought
fire engine was out here earlier and...
Yes. I'm so sorry. We're coming. Explosion's heard. How big is the fire? Do you know?
How big is the fire? Huge. Acres.
Okay.
Hundreds of acres.
Okay. Ma'am, listen,
Nobody's been warned about this. I just heard an explosion, so that's not good.
Okay, we're gonna come out there. Okay, so explosion's heard.
People immediately.
Ma'am, I thought
fire engine was out here earlier and...
Yes. I'm so sorry. We're coming. Explosion's heard. How big is the fire? Do you know?
How big is the fire? Huge. Acres.
Okay.
Hundreds of acres.
Okay. Ma'am, listen,
Nobody's been warned about this. It's like...
I got called earlier.
It's on fire. Yeah. It's somebody's not out here soon.
Yes.
I hear you. Yes.
Fire medical dispatch.
I got a fire next door to me in my neighbor's backyard.
If you're facing your house, is it to the right or the left?
If I'm facing my house to the right.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I'm looking right at it. It's his backyard burning.
Okay, we're showing it actually on the other side.
You go.
We're showing it on the other side of highway. Sir, I need you to listen to me.
us.
We're showing it on the other side of Highway 12.
And now it's on this side.
And now it's jumped?
It's jumped. It's now my neighbor's backyard.
Okay.
And he's got a lot of dry brush there, I think.
All right, I will send them out. All right, they're on the way. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, transferring the fire at AutoZone on Burnville Road. She lives in the area, and the sparks are coming towards her house.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, I'm on Marlowe House, and there's a fire behind the AutoZone. And
We already had that call.
Well, hammers everywhere.
Okay, we had that call already. If there's fire in your immediate area, go ahead and evacuate.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Fireman.
County transferring question. She's a Markfield. She's disabled. She doesn't know if she needs to evacuate.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Hurry right now. And if you feel or you see any flames or anything coming to you, I advise you to evacuate. They just put out an evacuation for... I got to answer another 911.
Okay, I just wanted to let you know.
Fire medical dispatch.
Hi, Santa Rosa transferring a possible fire on Hadley Hill.
Okay, hello?
Yes. On the window, I see the fire that I can't really tell if it's already. It looks like it's about to go.
You're completely surrounded. We have over 50 fires in the county right now. And if you're medical dispatch on it?
DHP with the transfer for health fire.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, yes, ma'am. So, it's fresh on my neighbor's property. I'm trying to hold down the hedges because the hedges are catching on fire.
Okay.
I just see somebody pulled up.
Okay, somebody's there?
I see somebody. I'm not sure if it's fire.
Okay, and is the house itself that's on fire?
I can't, but it's going to be any minute now because it's, literally the hedges on at Buckville's house. So I'm on one side of the property. I don't even know what's going on the other side.
Okay, very good. We'll let the fire department know to make sure, okay, that they know. We have, as you know, or you may not know, we have huge vegetation fire, and we have multiple structure fires in that area.
Gotcha.
So we'll get somebody to you as soon as we can.
Okay, I'm going to try and keep hosing down.
No problem. We'll let them know, but again, we'll get to you as soon as we can.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, I'm being evacuated on the advice of the sheriff. Are we now able to go back?
No, there's no going back right now, okay?
No going back.
No going back, okay? We will notify them. It'll be a news, I think,